Black Lady Media Club, everyone. I'm Nene.
I'm D.
Mina.
And I'm in.
And today we are witches. What they say? We the ones that which just didn't die. How it go? We the daughters of the
Oh, they
girls
say,
who
we
made
the
it.
daughters of the witches you couldn't burn.
You couldn't burn is crazy.
What are we referencing?
As they be saying.
That's what the girls be saying. The daughters of the witches you didn't burn.
Yeah.
Crazy business.
Yeah. But today we are witches. It is the October episode, so we thought we're reading a witch book. And so we thought, why not be witches, right? So today we're witches. And the title of the book that we read for the month of October is The Witches of Salix Pointe. I say this is a very blind pick. I'll say we just picked the book, okay? The reason why we picked the book is I saw this girl on Twitter talking about the book, and she was just like, a man couldn't get enough of this girl. And I can't remember exactly what the tweet said. Maybe I'll put a screenshot of the tweet, but I was like, that sounds interesting. I love a man to be fawning over a woman. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we read it.
Mm-hmm. We did indeed read it.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the synopsis really quick. It's actually not really quick. It's thick. And but after I do the synopsis, we'll go into how we feel about the book. Okay. Nestled between Little St. Simons Island and Jekyll Island, Salix Point is not a place that many people know of. As a part of the Golden Isles of Georgia, it's never mentioned because of all the weeping willows that grow there. The surrounding townsfolk call it the Island of Death. I don't remember that part.
Right.
They never said it. Never said it.
Oh, okay. Elisa Hunte never let the old suspicions bother her. Yeah, there had been some strange things that happened in the town, like floating objects and people disappearing in the night. But that happened.
Okay.
But that happened everywhere. But that happened everywhere, didn't it? Even though every night she dreamed of the same faceless man who did things to her body that were carnal sin. I'm sorry.
We get back into oversharing.
I did not
This
read
stuff didn't even pop up in the book.
I didn't read any of this before I read the book, so I really went into it not knowing nothing but what was on that tweet. That's it.
I definitely read this whole. I read the whole thing. I did read that part, and I laughed so hard.
Okay.
Or after you read the book.
I'm glad I didn't read it.
Right. Okay. Oh, she said she read this before she read the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She dreamed of the same faceless man who did things to her body that were carnal sins. She knew most of the talk about Salix Point was just old folklore. Elisa also knew that she was different. She seemed to sense things before they happened. That was just good old instinct, right? Tasmin Pettiford was a city girl through and through. She hated the country, particularly Salix Point. If it wasn't for the fact that her favorite aunt had recently passed away and willed her bookstore to her, Tasmin would have never returned to the island that disturbed her on so many levels. There were stories of townspeople practicing magic regularly, others seeming to vanish without a trace, and the bookstore seemed to be the epicenter of all things weird and unusual. Tasmin couldn't offload the property fast enough. The sooner it was sold, the sooner she'd be back in New York, away from the mosquitoes, the bookstore, the eeriness of a town that caused many a nightmare during her childhood. Or could it really be that simple? Not to mention, I told you it wasn't
This
short.
is
If you didn't read the
It's a
book, you didn't have to. Here it is.
Right.
Not to mention, Alyssa couldn't explain why her body reacted the way it did to the town's brooding vet. Dafari's battle. And when his even sexier brother, Octavian Jared, stepped into town, dragging otherworldly trouble along, Salix Pointe will never be the same. Alyssa and Tasmin may not want to put too much stock into the folklore of Salix Pointe, but there is a reason that the universe has brought the two women together. The end. That was a good book.
Hey. So it was very good.
insane.
From start to finish.
Literally from start to finish. So, how do we feel about the book, you guys? Overall, before getting to specifics.
Said I enjoyed it overall. It was easy. It was an easy read. Kept you, interested.
Yeah. Definitely was an easy read. I think I'm a little childish for stuff like this. But it was an easy read. I did enjoy the book. I think I was laughing at parts I shouldn't have been laughing at, but it was a good book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Overall, I did. It's like real hot and cold. With a lot of parts of the book, but I will say overall, I did like it.
I thought the book was good. I'll say this. Just listening to like the description of the book, like I said, I didn't know that it was gonna get down the way it got down in some parts, but I will say like I thought like once I realized like we're dealing with sexual demons. Once I realized that, I thought it was downhill from there because I just felt like it was just going to be, I will say that the author handled the book and the themes of the book better than I thought she would because I thought it was going to be a lot raunchier than it was. So it didn't get as nasty as I thought it was. And I was like,
yeah.
Because I don't think I was ready for what I thought she was about to go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, there we go. But she didn't go down the path that I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to our character analysis, and we can start with Alyssa.
Okay.
I'll say overall I liked Alyssa. She seemed level-headed for the most part. I don't know. She didn't give like a whole lot of character. But she wasn't boring or nothing. It's just like it was just like they were just trying. It seemed like she was just trying to make. Alyssa seemed more like a YN character to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So fanfic girls, y'all know what I'm saying. And but I did like her. I did like her character. I thought she was easy to connect to, and she seemed nice.
Yeah, I'll say the same. Alyssa did give your basic, not saying she was basic, but the basic, like, you root for somebody who's not like overly childish, somebody who makes decent decisions on a daily basis, somebody who's not like unlikable. And again, with the YN character, it's somebody that you can just kind of fill in the blanks of your own, like yourself, to relate to the book more. Like it's open enough for you to fill in blanks for yourself. If the author is looking for you to immerse yourself into the book as one of the characters.
Yeah.
Like Alyssa.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
liked her as
decent character.
well. I like her as well. I feel like she didn't really. It's not hard to like her or like any of the characters in the book because it's. I feel like they're very straightforward. She didn't really get into like a lot of the characters. Like it wasn't anything that necessarily to disagree with or agree with in the book for me to just like actually dislike a character based off their personality versus just not liking them. So I really didn't have a problem with Alyssa. I liked her. She was, like you said, a easy person to like in the book.
Yeah, I agree. I like her for the most part. There are some parts where there's never a part where I disliked Alyssa. I do think she was like very go with the flow. I think sometimes maybe a little too much.
I agree. I do
A
agree.
little too go with the flow. And that frustrated me just a little bit at some points in the story. But overall, she cute. It's really
Right,
what I
everybody
have to
cute,
say.
Everybody okay. Everybody
everybody
like
cute, everybody sexy.
right. Okay, everybody likes Alyssa. Next,
Mm.
on to Tasmin. How do we feel about Tasmin?
I like
I mean,
Tasmin.
it kind of.
I think she stand on business, but a little bit too much.
Right.
But she's I liked her. But just like Alyssa, like with the situation at hand, I feel like you know they were likable characters given the situation at hand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't do too much. Tasman did a little bit more than Alyssa, but not for me. Not enough for me to be like, well, I don't like Tasman.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did. I did like her. Cool.
I think yes, I like Tasmin. She was a little it did get frustrating. I think when it comes to books like this, there's always like characters who take a lot longer than the other character or characters to like
Adapt.
immerse themselves in the situation that is obviously happening in front of their eyes. And so whenever like the character's like, this can't be real, this can't be happening right now.
I'm about to go back to my regular life. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's like, okay, girl, we've already established like 2 hours ago that this is happening.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't enough. Like it was frustrating, but it wasn't enough to like dislike the character. Like I understood where she was coming from, but it's like, okay, girl, we gotta go punch.
So you better get killed in a few seconds.
See, you were this close to dying. I think I feel mostly, like y'all said, I feel mostly the same about Tasmin as I do Alyssa. But I will say the part where I was like, all right, Tasmin, come on, girl. When she bust that man face up with a teapot.
That is funny.
She ain't tried to. She did not try
right,
to.
come on. But okay, he said something like, okay, he insulted her. Ooh, I wish I could throw that teapot at his face right now. Who thinks that? Like maybe I feel like, ooh, I could slap him right now. I could deck him in his nose. I wish I could pull up that piping hot glass teapot, and throw it at his face.
That's hilarious.
She wasn't like, let me. I'm sure she's not like, let me get this piping hot tea kettle. It was more so like, he already rubbed me the wrong way. Here he go again, and I'm about to make my tea, but I wish I could hit him with this teapot. It was like a little thing. I feel like it was.
I feel like it was like I had to knock you upside the head.
Yeah.
Okay, but with the teapot,
yeah,
with the teapot is
come on.
What you say?
I probably would have.
I usually say
I probably would have thought that too.
You be
Would've
thinking
thought
crazy
that,
stuff,
but
not
not
just you
like
actually know.
not with the right, not with the intent with me actually doing it. It's just like, you know, you got to get your little frustrations out. I'm gotta. Then you just leave it at that. You're not thinking that it's gonna actually really happen. A lot of stuff I be thinking, if it really happened, that's real crazy. But
But why would
it
you
be
think
fleeting.
that?
I don't
Who
really
thinks
mean it.
that?
I don't really mean it. Ain't that big of a deal to me.
You be thinking it? You be thinking stuff like that? You be like, oh, I'll take this chair and wrap them in their nose or something. Like, you be thinking crazy stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't be thinking, oh, I'm going to deck them in their face. Like, I'm going to punch them.
Like,
I'm going to slap them.
But I would say maybe not someone that like I'm in such close proximity to. I probably wouldn't think something that intensely, but other people absolutely.
I wish I could just. I wish that car would just turn on and back up and run them over. Like,
She didn't say all that.
So that's a little bit different from tea
kettle.
I wish that tea kettle would bust
on top
into
of
a
the
million
fact that-
shards and go 10 miles per hour into his sternum.
You're dragging it.
Right. She said
I just
she
couldn't
little bit
believe
different.
she was thinking that. Like, piping hot tea kettle, I wish I'll hit him
It
upside the
sounds-
head.
It sounds worse than it actually
I
happened.
don't know. Maybe it
But
read.
it's
I think it read better than it sounded. Probably on
Maybe. Did you read
the
it,
book.
Z?
Hmm?
Mina, did you read it?
no, I listened to it.
That looked kind of crazy. That's fine.
Okay, so we all listened to it except for Z.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's established. We all did the audio book. Okay, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, I like Tasmin. But I did think it was just like, okay, girl, we get it. It's a big transition, but like, what are you like?
Yeah.
Get with it or get lost at this point, you know?
Yeah.
About to be gone.
Right.
Let's figure it out.
She's very stubborn, as both of them are. But I did like parts of her stubbornness when it came to her interactions with Octavian.
Of course you would.
Because you gotta learn, please. You have to. He did not. He had to get dragged through the mud to learn. So,
I agree.
He had to get stabbed in the eye to learn.
get stabbed in the eye.
Yes, he did.
That is
I felt a little bad for him.
They
whenever
literally
that
said that
happened,
he got
but did
stabbed in
get
the eye. That his eye was bulging and bleeding.
I don't remember seeing stabbed.
The shards, the glass shards. You say the quiet part out loud. Oh wait, you say the loud part quiet. How you say it? What's the saying?
You said the
yes.
The important
Exactly.
part quiet.
The loud part the.
No, stop.
No, let it cook.
Yeah, what's already understood don't need to be spoken.
She
So I
hit him
clean
with
that
the
up.
kettle, not with the glass mug.
Z.
It must be glass.
It was glass.
Thought
A
it was
tea
kettle.
glass? Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I can mention
He's
it now.
immortal,
Thank
so
you.
he recovered.
He was mad though. He was real mad.
He
said,
he was right
what's
to
his
be
name?
pissed. He was right.
He told his brother.
Octavian.
Octavian.
No, the brother.
Dafari.
The Dafari, take her for the day.
Take up I do something. Like, huh?
For the day. He couldn't even hang out with her that day.
He couldn't even look at her. I can't even look at your face without wanting to slap you. That's how he felt.
He said, not right now.
For real.
Enough.
I feel that.
And I feel that. I'm glad he knew to distance himself. Okay.
Finally.
Let's move on to Dafari, aka Dr. Battle. How do we feel about Dr. Battle?
I'm gonna be honest. Both of the brothers, I cannot get with.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Why did
It's
this kid?
because I cannot get past sneaking in somebody's dreams. I cannot. That's
Yeah.
the only thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like cool people, they're probably cool people, but you hopping in this woman's dreams
That's
for
so crazy.
you should see that 2 years or 3 years.
3 years.
Three,
Three
three.
years. This
Yeah.
woman dream. I
No.
told you they do nothing. Really, Dafari. Um,
Yeah. I thought whenever I read the
yeah.
synopsis, I was like, this sounds crazy, but maybe like I don't know why. I was like, in context, maybe it's not gonna be that bad.
Girl, that is terrible. I can't get over that.
It was
I
worse.
cannot rock with you, man. I cannot.
I was like,
I
oh, this
cannot.
is insane. Like, he's not coming back from this. I'm so sorry.
Alyssa accepted
Right.
that a little
Right.
too easy for me. She really
Exactly.
did.
She said, you were in my dream.
I thought I
Okay.
was crazy. Oh my gosh.
Like,
And then that was
girl,
it. She said,
I
girl,
think I wasn't that
for
jarred.
3 years.
I think I wasn't
This
that
man,
jarred because read, speaking of fan fictions,
where is this
I've
going?
read stuff. I already
It could go
just
terrible.
saying. I've already seen this concept before.
Okay.
Oh, I've already read this concept before, and it being done, way more left way.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I read this, whenever I read it, I was like, she gave you permission in the astral world realm. I'm not really getting with that. Like, I would just much rather you be a villain.
Yeah,
Then you talk about she gave me permission,
It's like,
it
okay, way
gave
to
so
cover our
I can
bases.
just not accept it. But right, it was like just in case you were thinking that it was not consensual, it was.
Right.
it gave so
But
borderline
that little part,
creepy. It
Yeah,
was too
even
borderline.
though I have seen
Yeah,
it,
not even borderline.
and that when they shared another reason Dafari, he just do too much. Like when he was like I think he's like a person like conversing with him probably just him in that community. I feel like he's a nice person, but that right there I just don't like. And I think he just overbearing with that type of stuff because like the first time they shared a room together, he was
Yeah.
it was it was
Weird.
a lot. It was he did not have to do all that.
He really
It
didn't.
was too
Talking
much.
about some what he said. Be careful what you thinking, woman. Sir, I found out that I was a witch 2 hours ago. What you mean control my thoughts? This brain don't
Right, he was
stop.
like basically had to call Octavian in there, hit her, something
Put her
like
to
that.
sleep. Something like that he said.
Yeah.
If I was Alyssa, I'm like, hold on now. Whoa, what you doing? I would have been like, wait a minute. Then gonna talk about some get in the bed and cuddle? No.
Yeah, I feel like I don't like Dafari. I don't like him because I feel like the story floats so good until Dafari was trying to do some freaky stuff.
Dafari, he just did too much.
You're being
It's
weird.
a demon.
Right.
He did too much.
Like
Dafari,
the vibe was weird.
Dafari is like, like that guy in school who's like always been attractive, so he don't have no personality.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dafari. Cause like he just like it is because so he's not been able to like keep a woman because of that lack of personality. So he gets women because he's fine, but he can't keep one because he don't have no personality because his whole life has been that he was fine. And so now he's scaring the O's because
He ain't scared to listen. That's bad enough.
he's scaring the O's because he don't know how to talk to a lady because if it's not given to him, it's like, And so Alyssa, God bless her soul, she just, she, like I said, she was just agreeable, you know?
Yeah, he chose the right one.
He sure did. He really did. Because he say, yeah, I've been doing this the last 3 years in your dreams. And she's like, for real? Wow. I don't know what to do with this information. That's crazy. Was I
All right.
good? Girl. Like, that's your question? I got so many more questions.
Literally.
You need to put him in jail.
Literally.
I would have been like, you beep, 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 beep. Because what do you mean?
You came in the morning every day, looked in my face.
Every day, knowing you tore. Okay? You tied out yesterday. And now you're in my face.
Hocus Pocus. What did she say? Abracadabra.
Presto,
change-o. Like
you did all that yesterday.
And now
And
you're my
5
first
o'clock
customer. Every day you're my first customer. Like, that's at this point, like, telling me that you've been doing it in my dreams, and then knowing like for the last 3 years you've been my first customer every single day on purpose is actually insane. And it's like, I like Dr. Battle as Dr. Battle. Now Dafari, he just a little weird. He a little too weird for me. I don't dislike him, but I'm scared.
Everything is so brooding and so like suggestive. I'm like, every conversation we have, it don't gotta be like that.
Yeah.
Literally.
Can we have a normal conversation? Without you better stop looking at me like that. like what? Can I just live my life?
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to say about him?
Go for it, Dafari.
Huh?
No go.
I think the author did a little much with the characterization of him being an incubus.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was trying to show that it was an inward battle that he was trying to abstain from. So he was pent up, was over, sexualized because of his nature.
Mm-hmm.
That part of his nature that's like overwhelming. It did go a little bit too far. It did show through every conversation and interaction that he had. And to say that he had an angel side, it's supposed to be different, which turned out not to be that different.
Right.
But I just think that he tried so much. She didn't delve into his like any other personality traits outside of him fighting a demon.
Right.
So it just came across Tori.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he spent the entire time trying to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't dislike him, but it was off-putting sometimes, and it did kind of shift the tone sometimes, where it's just like, why would you corner me inside the kitchen?
Right. Why would you? You thought you ate that. I would have been grabbing the counter too, because I would have been scared. I would have been frightened. You got Tasmin busting people's eyes out with glass kettles, and then you got Dafari coming out of the shadows in the morning. Where are the shadows in the morning? Whispering in people's ear over like Cheerios. Trying to be sexual. What is wrong with? Read the room. You see what I'm talking about? No, like he not there all the way. He's just so.
That's so funny.
What's going on in this house?
He there all the way. His mom,
right?
His mama was awful.
And then
was his father.
Octavian, and we didn't get on him yet, but Octavian over here stuck in the Middle Ages. Like this is the.
Girl, oh wait.
He said, you a crazy little wench, ain't you?
Not wench. Wench is great.
He not coming from this. He not coming back from this. And I
really
never came back from it myself.
Me either, because what you mean, wench?
That is so funny.
I tried.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
And then, can we just go on to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. The wench of it all.
Octavian,
Not the wench of it all.
you said that. Octavian called her a wench. Was flabbergasted. I looked at my phone a million times. A million times before I figured out whether or not I was reading the right thing. I said, he cannot be talking to her. And then when he said that, she came back to him and he was like, oh yeah, you can't be a wench because wenches love my kisses. Supposed to like you?
And that's
Supposed to
why
be
I
together
wasn't.
or something?
That's why I wasn't that upset whenever she threw that pot.
Right, because he just
I'm trying to
can't.
say he could not learn. He could not learn unless you know how some people you have to give a good cussing out to before they get to learning.
Yeah.
Because they think everything a game.
Yeah.
Why are you stealing? Why are you assaulting me? You cursed me out. You called me a slur. And then
Literally.
you keep me.
Right.
Now you got hit. Now all of a sudden you mad. You had to get hit.
It's like I understand why you mad, but you got to
Now with a boiling
understand.
hot kettle.
Right.
Right, you have to.
Please, at some point my word's not working.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not an enemies to lovers type of girl, so it's really hard.
This is not the type of enemies to lovers.
See, this is what I think enemies to lovers. I think this is true enemies to lovers because Tasmin in real life did not like that man. Like she did not like him day one. Day one, she didn't like him. And then at the end, she did like him. And so it's just like, this is enemies to lovers to me, and I don't like it. Because all the other enemies to lovers be like, oh, we're really frenemies, or we used to be friends, and now we really still friends, we just stopped talking. Or like, oh, they get on my nerves now, but if they would talk to me, we'll be friends again. Like that's the enemies to lovers I keep coming across. This is real life. I don't like you, and I hated it.
I don't think that this is real enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Because he liked her.
Well, somebody got an enemy.
Like he didn't dislike her.
Enemies to lovers for
They
Tasmin.
both gotta not like each other. Think with enemies to lovers, ones that work for me are ones of competition.
Mm-hmm.
We're not friends, but we're against each other because of competition. So we're enemies because we're opposing each other. Not that we hate each other, we just don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's like banter, but we don't like each other. Not you calling me a wench.
Right.
Not you sexually assaulting me. That's not that's foes.
That's mortal enemies to lovers. Star-crossed enemies.
Because she couldn't go nowhere else.
Yes. It's really close proximity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I say Stockholm.
That is so funny. I did feel this strongly about Octavian when I read the book. I think I felt so strongly about Dafari that Octavian things seemed lighter. And to me, and I enjoyed his point of view a lot more than I enjoyed Dafari's point of view.
I'm crying. I think when I was reading the book, I felt stronger about Octavian than I did Dafari. Yeah.
I agree.
Because, like, I just couldn't get behind why you call me a wench. And then also, like she said, why are you saying me? And also, like, why you think it's just funny? Nothing's funny right now. Nothing's funny. And if you tell me to get with my powers one more time, I swear I'm about to go off.
I was talking about the kissing her whenever he was like dying.
Yeah.
That in any book I do not like.
Right. Don't steal no kisses.
Any show, I hate that. Like,
especially,
can we be serious? I'm trying to save your life.
Right. Mm-hmm. Especially if
save your life.
Yeah, if it's something serious, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Don't steal no kisses. You're not my man, and you know I don't like you, so why would you do that? That would have had me put him right back
That's
under.
another thing. Right back under. For me, I just felt like it was so interesting how they characterized their personalities between Fire being a demon and Octavian being an angel, or Dafari being like a hybrid, and Octavian being an angel, because Octavian seemed way more mischievous, like just baseline personality. I know, you know, Dafari got his demons. You know, he's dark in his own right. Dafari seemed more morally conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of him slipping into her dreams, you know.
If you take that away
in
from it,
outside of that,
right? Dafari ain't that bad if you take that away from it.
I felt like at first I thought she was trying to set it up because she did like write in the fact that Dafari kept saying that his brother was an asshole.
Yeah.
And so I thought that she was trying to set up the whole like he's an angel but he's an asshole versus Dafari who's half demon but like he's such a nicer person. And like person to person, yeah, he's a nicer person. But I feel like that me expecting them to be like polar opposites made me dislike Dafari more because I was like, oh, I thought I was supposed to like you the whole time.
Dang, y'all hated him. That's crazy. I ain't hate that man when I read it. I just thought he was weird. Like he's just.
I just thought he was annoying and weird.
I was really giving him the benefit of the doubt until like in the middle, and I just don't like he just kept talking to people crazy, talking to Elisa crazy to me. Even after that, and again, it was because it was like, I guess I went into like the whole setup thinking that he was supposed to be so much less of an asshole than Octavian, so I was expecting Octavian to be an asshole. And then I guess with me expecting that the things that he did, like the winch part, I wasn't as like caught up, like taken aback by it. I guess because I'm thinking about it like if someone called me a witch, I think I would just laugh.
It's like the utmost disrespect to me. You call me a wench? Like, I'm gonna show you a wench.
You a wench.
And the kiss thing, I think I would still like stand on like not liking this person, but I don't think I know the whole coming in my dreams for the last 3 years just seemed like such a bigger offense to me.
But you know what though? For me personally, if I met a man who was doing that, obviously I would lose my itch, right? But I think because Elisa didn't care, I was like, well, I'm not about to be sitting up here worried about something she ain't worried about, because she wrote it off like, oh really, that's crazy type ish. So when Elisa got, because when I was like, the whole time, like, how he gonna tell her this? Because that's how you come back. Like, that's a wild thing to tell somebody. Once I just feel like once Elisa was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to be worried about this if you're not worried about it, I guess. I said, that's weird though. I can't believe you got over it like that, because I just know, I don't know. I was like, I know I would have had some follow up, but you know, if she don't care, whatever. Whereas Tasmin clearly cared. And so I cared when it happened, and Tasmin continued to care. So I'm like, yeah, well, she's going to allow me to get this out. Like, what's wrong with you, sir? I thought Octavian, I did not hate him. I just thought he was annoying. He reminded me of like a little boy. And like when I was in like elementary school, like little boys who have a crush and just like won't leave you alone. That's what it reminded me of. It did get very childish. I didn't dislike him, but it was just like, read the room, Octavian, and why you talk like that.
That's so cool.
I agree. I think that Octavian is definitely childish. I like the brothers enough kind of make me feel like my students, where it's like you do something stupid and it's just like the next day is just the next day, you have a clean slate. Only because I am trying to enjoy the book, and it never seems like whatever bad is done has consequence that it never gives you the expectation of a consequence that will drag on. So at that point, I'm just like, okay, I know that this is not supposed to be a big deal in the plot, so I just want us to get through this and pass it up so we can get to the next part.
Mm-hmm.
But and since I've seen that type of trope with Dafari 4, I just was kind of like, okay, let's get past that. Are we gonna be past this, or is this gonna be a big plot point? Okay.
Right.
And also the fact that both Eliza and Dafari were celibate for 7 years. I think it was supposed to play into her, like, her yearning, because she had like this undeniable crush on him the entire time that he's been there. This is supposed to be like her crush for him was what occupied her desires, so she just didn't care about dating or whatever. Just what it seemed like to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that her being pent up and him being pent up is what excused it in the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, not for me personally, because I just was like, let's get past it. If I'm supposed to enjoy this. And for the plot's sake, I think that was the point. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel that. Now let me ask y'all this before we move on, right? Did y'all, when they were describing what Dafari and Octavian looked like, who is a celebrity that y'all would put for each?
I was trying
Before
very
you know their personalities.
I was trying very hard. It's still like kind of the silhouette with a blank face.
Yeah.
I don't like. I tried to like pinpoint someone that I thought they looked like. I don't. I still don't know.
I had somebody for Dafari, but I cannot remember who it was. And I hate that for me. But I will say, okay, there was like, okay, for Octavian, I don't know how old he's supposed to look, though. And that was the dilemma for me with picking who I thought they would look like. But I was like, okay, she said he's like golden caramel. He has curly hair. And he's like 5'10" and very handsome. So, of course, I'm like Rome Flynn. Right? But then I started getting his personality. Rome Flynn. Yes. But then I started getting his personality, and I was like, I don't see nobody for you. But at the beginning, Rome Flynn. And I kept on trying to imagine Rome Flynn, but I'm just like, that man just don't get on my nerves enough to be Octavian. So, even though,
I feel like what's his name? Not Rome Flynn. They kind of the same category of black man. What's his name from Bridgerton season 1? I feel like him.
I don't remember. Yeah. Yes.
He'll be.
I feel like him with a slightly.
He did give a.
I can see that because he got on my nerves.
Like a little bit of a butthole.
Yeah.
I also didn't picture anybody. I just feel like their descriptions weren't concrete enough in my mind to put somebody there. However, I did, whenever it came to Dafari, I kept imagining like Lloyd's hair.
Right?
Yeah.
He just give Black Fabio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm here with you on that.
Like I couldn't, because Dafari is supposed to be like midnight. kept describing him as like very, very deep. They use the word midnight.
I think so.
They did.
Describing him as like a very, very deep black, like brown skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
With the wavy hair. I like that.
And they had different daddies.
His daddy Rick Fox. No.
Yeah, they got different daddies.
I was thinking, you know what, Rick Fox. If Octavian's supposed to be older, Rick Fox. Because I'm trying, who's fine and caramel skin with curly hair, right?
Yeah.
But also, Rick Fox just don't get on my nerves. So I don't know, but I'm still confused. Because Dafari said that his daddy was black and Octavian's daddy was Mediterranean. But they were brothers. So when it came out that y'all were brother cousins, how? Because why is one of them Mediterranean and one of them from Atlanta?
I think it was more so like we're brothers in Christ. Like we're brothers, but you know how they have like over dominion, kind of like King Triton. All his daughters are over like different parts, so they're like different ethnicities. Your daddy is God, ain't it?
Huh? But no, but it wouldn't be like King Triton because King Triton wasn't messing with sisters.
What?
They keep saying that they are brothers, like the dads are brothers, but one of them's Mediterranean, one of them's black. So I'm like,
maybe they got different daddies too.
Right? Maybe they not. I'm saying, they brothers. They brothers through marriage. They're not really brothers.
I get you.
Like
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Z. Yeah. But I just feel like
the hole.
Huh?
Plot hole.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a plot
hole.
How
they do with the mystical people.
I got what you're saying. It was just giving blood. Like I just felt like they were saying blood. So that's why it didn't give like our like regional brother. You know? And then one of them ended up being a demon.
I think that it's I think it's supposed to be blood.
Right.
It just
that's weird.
I think it's supposed to be blood, but you know how like they have like all of it's in like the Greek mythology, like they're literally derived from each other. They're just supposed to represent other things, like you just like the because they've been here for so long. It's supposed to be like this is my sector, but their physical, their earthly appearance is different from their celestial DNA. How they bulk up and they look completely different. Kind of like this is the region that I was supposed to be over.
Okay.
What I look like, but we're brothers.
Yeah, I feel like if that's the case, they could have did a little better job explaining that, but that does make sense. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to favorite characters. I don't know that I have a favorite character. I don't know. When nobody,
Miss Noreen.
We didn't have a single thing to say the whole book.
Huh?
He have no dialogue. She didn't say a word.
What's his name? Ruckus.
I thought about him, but he was getting on my nerves calling that girl Tasmanian. That was annoying. So he lost me.
That was annoying.
Yeah, like, yeah, that was.
Who's y'all's favorite character? Well, I think
Eliza, the girls.
Yeah.
It's because they had the most cause.
I think at the end,
They weren't buttholes.
yeah, I think I don't know about like personality favorite character. Well, like my favorite character to read to like hear their point of view was Octavian. I liked the voice acting. The voice acting was very nice. It brought me like really into the story. And I felt like the voice actor had the most things to do when it came to Octavian, and I just thought he was funny.
I don't know. See, because I felt like the voice acting, I think the voice actors were really good. But I feel like Octavian's came off a little corny. And I was like, I don't know if that was because of the voice acting or if that was because of the script, you know? And it was just certain points that I was like, oh, he's a little corny. Like, why would he say that like that? So I don't know. But I will say the way that Octavian's voice was, it had the most character to it.
Yeah.
The accent was killing me. I thought it was funny sometimes. It wasn't bad, but I was just like, I just thought it was funny. And I don't know who my favorite character is. I guess the girls by default.
By default.
Because they didn't give me enough for real to like be like, I really, really like this character. I was just kind of like, they cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what about least favorite characters? Wow, I can go on. Not so
Least
much
favorite
like
character.
His wife.
right, like not so much like the last book, because pretty much everybody in the last book was my least favorite character. But in this book, like you said, the mayor hated the mayor, hated his wife. I do think it's coincidental that we're reading this book and you hear the party part, and it's so similar to a producer that's in trouble right now. And so
Yes.
I was just like,
I was
oh,
thinking the same thing.
she knows. She knows. Don't. She knows. But
Thinking the same thing. I was like, when this book was written.
right, no, I really looked it up because I was like,
thing we know.
How she know?
Written. And when was it published?
2020.
Yeah, I was like, not long ago, but not. Yeah.
Around the time she could have known.
I guess that's something.
Yeah.
I guess that's something that's been talked about before. Like that we've talked about like and stuff in parties.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, like the biggest thing is like the biggest reference for it is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But I definitely was like,
right. So hated the mayor, hated his wife, hated the mom. Like the mayor and the wife was just very weird, hateful, annoying, and just ugly characters, right?
Yeah.
But the mom, I just
Mama,
meet me outside. Like
what was the reason? What?
You
What was the
mad
reason?
at the
I'm
baby
honestly
because you was a
tired.
pick me.
Honestly tired of these books and the mom's portrayals.
Right.
I know like the
Yeah.
moms have the most complicated relationship with their kids because their moms are the ones that are usually holding the brunt of the raising and like stress and stuff. Why every book it feel like the mom is the villain?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
She
every
was
book we read.
Awful. It was awful. She's the worst.
Yeah. She is
Like,
the worst.
I just it was like I don't plan on reading the next book in the series, but at the same time, I'm just like, what was the reason? Like,
Yeah.
Am I gonna find out what was the reason for all of this? Like, why would you treat your child like?
And keep it from his daddy.
We just it can't just be, oh, we're looking out for the greater good. That's not good enough reason for me.
That's
That's
not.
go
To be treating me wrong, you had me. You chose him.
Exactly.
You had me. And then when you couldn't change him, you got mad at me? I'm 3.
And it makes sense.
Exactly.
Like, I'm a baby, and then you took me. You don't want me to be like him. You literally don't want me to be like him, but you took me, kept me from him, and thought I was going to choose to be like you?
Yeah. She was very weird.
You gave me the cold shoulder the entire time I was with you.
And then
put him on a pedestal.
Not only gave me the cold shoulder, but then went and started a whole new family with my uncle. And then treated that baby like he was just God's gift from earth, literally. And had me sit in the back corner like, you see what you could have been if you wasn't half demon. You had me.
You made me half demon. You made me half demon. And you let my uncle's father give me more love than you.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Uncle's father?
You let my uncle father, uncle
slash father.
Uncle. You let my frunkle give me way more love than you.
Right.
He's my parent and you're not.
And apparently he wouldn't even give him that much.
My parents.
Exactly.
That's sad.
Bare bones.
They wasn't giving him. He wouldn't get. Imagine somebody who's just not being mean to you is the one who you feel like loves you the most. He's not being nice to you. He's just not being.
Back in the choking.
Literally by himself. It's like, what was the purpose of taking me from my daddy? Because at least if I would have just been with my daddy, I could have at least been loved out loud. I probably would have been terrible. I'd have been loved out loud.
At least would have been right.
We would have been locked in. Okay, we would have been 2 troublemakers. Okay, we would have been too much for y'all. But instead you kept me, right? You said you kept me, and then thought I was going to be the perfect little angel because why? Because you kept me from the demon. I'm still half demon, so by nature I probably will be enticed to do things, whatever. And then 2, you literally act like you hate me, so I hate you. So I'm definitely not gonna try to act like you.
Me. How am I supposed to be good if you never put good into me?
Exactly. And then I see you treating my little brother like he is just creme de la creme. And it's just like, that's
over here calling
weird.
People wenches.
And he's calling the lady he loved a wench. He called her that like day 1 when he re-met her. Okay, so let's be honest. I mean, you really ain't do a good job because one of us is creeping in people's dreams and the other one calling people wenches on day 1 when they meet them. So are you an angel?
This is what you came up with?
She was evil.
She was evil.
Yeah.
They both are angels and they were awful.
Awful.
You over here, you're a mass murderer? Because why?
For the greater good. You killing people who don't even know they have powers. People who have never given you any type of like, oh, they're going to be evil. Those are some of the most, the goodest people. Okay? In the city. And you chose to kill them off when they was at home chilling, not even practicing for real.
Like, and
the mayor's down the street.
Huh? What'd you say?
The mayor's down the street.
Right.
Go ahead, Anna.
I was saying, and then y'all chose to kill somebody. You like, oh, we don't know if like she was too powerful. Talk about Noreen. She was too powerful. We don't know if she was going to use her powers. But Noreen is 85.
Thank you. If Noreen was going to do it, she would have did it.
Bad.
Y'all waited till she was an old lady to come kill her when she chilling, but not when she was like strong in her coven, young and vibrant. Y'all are idiots. It's giving there's another agenda.
Yeah.
It's giving scaredy cat.
Yeah.
Instead of going to people like angels do, instead of going to people and like working with people or whatever, you're like, oh, you just gotta kill them
and then stage it to make it look like your baby daddy did it.
That was crazy. The plot
insane.
twist.
You hate him like that?
Like,
I felt like
that was wild. That was wild. That was wild. And I called
That
it. I called it
was.
early in the book, but that was wild.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the
I
dad.
I
didn't think it
called
was
the
dad.
mama.
I definitely thought it was both of
Oh,
his
mama.
parents, Octavian's parents.
Yeah.
I thought it was the man.
Okay.
First, I thought it was Octavian.
I did for a split
I
second.
think that was Octavian.
I didn't
I thought it was
think it was
the man.
Octavian. I thought he was being genuinely ignorant to what was happening. He was like, I didn't think it was I didn't think it was Dafari's daddy either, because Octavian jumped too quick to
the daddy.
him, and I was like, that's not gonna be it.
Right.
But I didn't think it was gonna be the parents until, like, I guess right around, like, right before it happened. I was still, like, pretty confused throughout most of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it did kind of gag me a little bit, but, like, I figured it out right before.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I wonder, like, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna be the bad guy?
I was like, oh, I knew it.
At first, I thought it was gonna be just the Frunkle.
Mm-hmm. Some real Game of Thrones type ish.
I really thought it was gonna be the Frunkle, and then the mama wasn't gonna know, and, like, maybe the Frunkle like went against her or something like that, and, like, kidnapped her or something like that. But no.
Right. And then y'all went through the trouble of staging it at your own house. It's crazy. I think I thought that it would be the parents when Dafari started explaining his bad relationship with his mom. And then after they found the kyanite in Alyssa's house, after that I was like, I think it's gonna be the parents.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking it was gonna be the parents. I was thinking the parents earlier on like that too. I was like, is something up with the mom, and he was offending them too much.
Right.
It's like I don't know. I was looking more so like, that formula with, it's somebody that you met in exposition.
Yeah.
Going to be the one. So like you said, Yana, it was like wasn't gonna be the Frunkle. I mean, wasn't gonna be the daddy. Aziza, whatever that man name was. Because I mean, it just was too easy.
Yeah.
No, there's some plot holes with that too.
Yes.
From the beginning to him declaring he was just trying to scare them, I don't really believe that.
Yeah.
Right. You went too far, baby. You took your job too. He said, and I was employee of the month.
Like you got a little bit lost in your job there.
Yeah.
In the beginning, whenever it was like, keeps wanting to talk to you, the dad was chained, he got away, he wouldn't have wanted you, he wouldn't have, energy is only shown because he wants you to see it. Like, well, why would he be luring him? Like, it was a couple of things I was like, I bet you it's the mama. I bet you it's the mama.
Yep.
And of course, it wasn't just her. It was both of them. But
yeah,
mommy and Frunkle.
Especially with whenever Octavian was like in denial and not wanting to say, but he was finding out. I was like, it's that side.
I agree. Oh my god. Like, baby, did you forget you were a double agent?
Right.
Okay, we can move on to our favorite scene. My favorite scene was probably the fight scene at the end.
Yes.
I thought that was really well written. I was in it.
It was.
Like, even just the party in general, the party to the it was so descriptive that like it was like watching a movie when I was reading that part. So I think the whole end of the book was really good. I was like, wow, she really saved it at the last minute, because like I was like, this book is cool, but I'm like, whatever. It was giving it was giving adult Twitches to me.
Yes.
Because
yes,
it's like, we just watched Twitches, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was rewatching Twitches with y'all, it's like, when you watch Twitches, it's like so much is happening, but nothing is also happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so spread out. Like, usually movies, you're like, I don't know, it was just so spread out. And it felt like it was a long time, but it was not a long time at all. But the way that it was written, it just felt like it was way longer than what it was. Like, I don't even know how long this book timeline was supposed to be. I really have no idea. But it just felt like it was so long. And it's like nothing happened like the first 60% of the book, but a lot happened, but nothing happened at the same time. Like you said, it read so fast. So
yeah, it was like I'm going through it so fast, but it feels like it's both dragging and going so fast.
I was like, what? So by the time we got to the party, I was like, the writing felt like it was just telling the story a little differently, because it was like, okay, now we at the money making. And I agree, like, and then when the conflict actually started and they started fighting, I was like, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that was the most like action-based part, which is why that's my favorite. Like you said, it was moving, but it was dragging, but nothing really happened. Like overall, nothing happened for it to be. Oh, I really like this part, but that was the most like memorable part in the book. Like, okay, now it's getting good.
Yeah, I think last part was the most action packed, and it was very like descriptive, and I was like imagining it in my mind. I did also like the parts where, even though this is where I had to write Dafari off, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever he just attacked her out of nowhere, and I get it, but that was too much for me.
Getting it,
Too much for me.
Same.
But I did like that. Yeah, but I did like that scene only because I liked how she was describing. She does a good job with describing like the combat. And like her realizing that not only is she telepathic, she is elemental.
Right.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that scene was good too.
I did also like the confrontation with Marianne, or whatever her name was, her widow sisters, because I thought at first it was going to be some drama between them and the mama, which was why, like, I thought it was going to be some stuff, like some things with the ladies in the town that we had met already. Seeing like in the beginning, whenever she had that kyanite on, and she was like, where'd you get that from? And they were like, do you know? And she was like, what are you talking about? It almost felt like that they had a secret that they were holding that had something to do with the bigger picture, and not quite like how it unfolded. But I did like that confrontation, because it's like, okay, let's figure some things out. Like, let's get the show on the road.
Right.
But yeah.
That was everybody's favorite scene.
The fighting scene were.
Oh, I also like the scene where Tasmin was doing the ritual for her grandma, or auntie. Yeah, I like that part too.
Oh yeah, that was good. I like the way it was described.
Yes.
The scene with the trees was good.
Okay. Least favorite scene?
I think the scenes where Dafari was being freaky.
So you liked it?
That's my least favorite.
She said.
Oh. Okay. I was saying, what?
Presto, change-o.
My least favorite scene was the scenes of him being like, the whole "be careful what you ask for."
It's just so corny.
Dafari was.
I thought that they were going to. They were going to explain that though, like why he said, especially now when Alyssa's around. Why is when Alyssa thinks about something it comes true? Why is it always a wish? Why is it always a petition whenever she's thinking something?
What you
They
mean?
never
Like, I
explained
think he's
that.
just freaky. I think he's just freaky.
Oh, it was kind of like it just no, because he also no.
D, say it.
Because he
Ain't nobody fighting you.
you said it twice. Anyways, it seemed like it was more than that because whenever Elisa, because I kept reading Eliza, I don't know. Whenever she was down there and seeing Octavian and Tasmin having that feud, and, you know, when she was thinking about him with the thing, they also made a point right there. Like, and you said you thought it around Elisa.
Oh, her powers, Tasmin and Elisa powers are stronger when they're together because they're in the same coven.
Okay, right. Why always say that though? It just never felt like it was just tied to like sexual desire.
Wait,
To me,
what they got to do with
whenever I read it.
Dafari? Yeah, I'm confused too.
He always told her be careful what she wished for, but it didn't seem, whenever I read it, it didn't read to me all the time that it was specific. It was being freaky. It just to me it felt like he was alluding to power, like her power on her own.
Okay.
To me, it just gave he was freaky. And it might be an audio versus print thing, because the way that the voice actor would say it was just definitely giving like girl, you better get on out of here type ish, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't giving like be careful what you wish for. It was like, be careful what you wish for. It just he just made it sound freaky, so I was just like, man, this he's nasty.
Maybe it's the man. Actually, maybe it's the man, not Dafari. Maybe it's the reader.
Cause it was so corny every time. Both him and Octavian, I think he was voicing both of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was the same.
I think so.
For both of them.
So it was just the way that he would like say certain stuff. It's like this London. I'm like, sir, you're not British. Like, you're not British. I can tell you're not British. And if you are British, I'm sorry to disrespect you. You don't sound British. And so like, it's like you're putting on a British accent and you trying to say like slick stuff. And it's just like, what are you, Wayne? And then you got Dafari, and it's just like when he trying to be freaky, it's just like, it's like end of the world freaky. Like, it's like, you really ain't had nothing in 7 years. We can tell. Like, so every time he'd be like, be careful what you wish for. I said, be careful what you wish. It's like, okay.
It kept
so
coming
aggressive.
Threat rather than
like when you have to go and listen to the audio when that first encounter, when they first got into the bed together, when they went to sleep.
Oh.
You have to, because that right there, I was like, why would she get in the bed? I wouldn't get in the bed.
Literally. No, I'm scared.
He's like, he appeared in her room in his undies, talking about be careful what you wish for, and control your thoughts, woman, before you get something. Excuse me, you appeared in here. You materialized in front of me.
You came in here and tell me to leave you alone.
And then call Timmy to come get me.
And then get behind me and put your arms around me. And it said, I know you like this. Stop thinking about it. Octavian, come put her to sleep.
Yeah, that's
put me where? Get out of my room.
Every time it got sexual with him, it just threw off the whole vibe. Like, I was like,
yeah. I think it probably did have more to do with the voice acting and just reading it,
Yeah.
because although it was a little out of place, it didn't bother me as much
Yeah, you gotta
than
hear it.
hearing it, because y'all know how I feel about certain. I'm not hearing it.
You
Y'all know how I
have
feel
to,
about
D.
certain.
I'm gonna play it for you.
There are specific
Just like,
voice actors that I hear that narrate like romances that
uh-huh.
I can't. If I see their name on it, I'm not clicking it.
Is he
That's
one
so
of
funny.
them?
It just ruin it. No,
Oh,
I'll
he
never
should
know.
be.
I did.
Well,
I really liked his
for
voice
that,
acting overall, except for those parts.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the men do not know how to do that part well.
Hmm.
So it's just like
I
it
will
sounds
say,
really heavy, and it sounds really sweaty, and it sounds really predatory
yeah,
Yeah.
whenever you listen to it. If I read it, then it doesn't feel the same.
yeah,
Hmm.
I get that though.
Yes, you did appear in her room, but for me, it felt like whenever I was reading it, it felt more like a compelling instead of I'm about to lose my I'm about to lose my wits about
You
myself.
got to
It
hear
I
was
it,
it
just,
D.
was
you
it felt
know, I
less
should have cut it
like
off.
it it felt less like I'm eavesdropping in your mind from the other room because I have a sickness. More so like I'm an incubus. So whenever you wishing it,
Mm-hmm.
compelling me.
Okay,
I
You know what
and
I'm
can
see,
see
saying? It
that.
felt more like that
yeah,
when I read it.
See, that would have made me feel a little
I'm glad.
better.
Right, right.
Cause the way he was reading it, had the flu,
Girl.
and she was the medicine.
It was very bad.
I
What's
will
that song?
say,
And this is,
I
mm,
will say, this is not the book that we were talking about, but I will say two voice actors who did a really good job, who were men, who did not make me feel cringe. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to give it to Christina Forrest. I mean, both the neighbor favor and the partner plot, I did not feel creeped out by either one of the
that's
guys.
true.
They did a really good job, so
That's
I give them
true.
their props. Anyways,
Hmm. But yeah, I was saying as in like it disturbed me a little bit. So who reads spicy stories all the time? So like,
we know
Oh,
Smut
that's
Queen,
right.
Smut Queen.
Do that.
sure, like corny sexual scenes in books that didn't like that. It was like it felt corny at times, but still was like it's not that it's not that bad. Like it's not that big of a deal. But yeah,
So,
I don't know. Did y'all
yeah,
say y'all least favorite scene? Was that it?
yeah, that was hers. I don't know if I.
I don't really have a least favorite, but when Tasmin, when her practice got burned down, I'm like they could have did something else to keep her in there. That was so sad.
yeah,
Have her practice burned down.
Right.
I mean, I
Could
get
have
it, but
literally just
hey,
didn't have to. I agree. It didn't have to be the practice burned down, and she got stopped and flipped over in the middle of the street at night going home.
right?
literally,
It
It
was
could have
a
just
Right.
been her get been one of those things.
I do think
yeah.
they could have went like the Once Upon a Time route. Just every time you try to get out the city, you can't. Instead of having her
Mm,
life's work be done, and she just like okay, cause like she never even been like, oh, I could open a practice out here. She's just like, well, I just run the bookshop. Girl, you are a doctor, and you talk
right. You
about
need
you
to get back to that
love being a
doctor.
doctor.
yeah,
I just didn't, you know.
yeah. We could keep it open, have somebody else like work there, but you know,
Right, right. Okay. We can move on to book rating.
okay.
Book rating. So, what do y'all feel this book should get? What rating? Let me think.
It's 1 to 5.
Yes, 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I think I have my rating. I'll give the book a 3.8.
Mm,
Give it a 3.75.
mm-hmm.
Give it 3.2.
I was gonna say 3.7.
Okay. We give this book a 3.6 rating. Woo, woo. Not the worst.
Yeah, it
Not the
wasn't
best.
bad. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
enjoyable.
It was enjoyable.
It was just I feel like I think it was
The voice acting.
the voice. I was just cracking up.
Same.
Never. It's not supposed to be funny. I think it was the voice acting.
It wasn't bad because, like I said, if I feel like if he had a different book, I wouldn't feel like it's necessarily like I wouldn't necessarily feel like he's so corny.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's just the concept, and then him having to do a British accent as well, playing two different men. Huh?
I was like, I wasn't.
I didn't think the accent was bad. It was just I noticed it. You know what I mean? Like I noticed that it's not. I know you don't talk like that for real.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad though, because I couldn't do that. But I think he did a good job as far as not making the characters sound at all alike. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And them talking back and forth to each other or whatever. I don't know. I thought the book was good though. I do. It was not as nasty. Once they said, incubus or whatever, I was like, oh, but it wasn't that bad. And it really picked up at the end. So would I read the sequel? I would read the sequel. Am I like, oh, I need to read the sequel? No, but I would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I will read the sequel.
There is something.
Let's do it.
Yeah, there's something that one of the characters in the epilogues that they said, it was like, oh, I found this out. Oh, Tasmin's parents coming home. But, wait, whose parents? Like, oh, you're just as handsome as the devil. Whose parent was that? Was that Eliza's or was that Tasmin?
I think that was Elisa's parents.
What did they say?
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Because,
actually, I don't know whose parents. I don't remember whose parents it was.
It was the parents dead.
Because
right, but she was talking about when she was little.
right, but it was like a flashback. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the mom was like, "You're as handsome as the devil," and they were like basically saying it in like an inside joke, like I know something you don't know, type of thing.
I
But
think
why
it
would
was
you say you're as
Alyssa's
handsome as the
parents.
devil?
Because her dad was the one who was the witch.
Which right?
Yeah, I think it was Alyssa's
And
parents.
when Tasmin's parents came there, like they were protecting her, or maybe. This is what I was thinking. It was either the two, one of the two. They either came down there to protect her, or they came down there because her powers were activated.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They found out that her powers were activated, and they were on some other time.
Yeah.
Because that happened right after Dafari's dad was like, "Oh, what happened the other day alerted a lot of
otherworldly
people,
beings."
To come over here. Yep. Maybe he's just trying to protect her, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little intriguing to me.
Yeah, same. So yeah, I would read it. If y'all want to read it, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that is it. That was The Witches of Salix Pointe by, I never said the author, I'm so sorry, Noelle Vella. Or Noelle Vella. I think it's Noelle Vella. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, so go check the book out, and it's not too long, so yeah. Thank you all for coming. You can go follow us on Instagram at Black Lady Media Club. That's our Instagram. And you can follow us on Twitter. I believe our Twitter is Black Lady Media 1. I'll have all of it in the description because I'm terrible at quoting social medias. Lord. But yeah, we'll catch y'all in the next one.